Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to a very special edition of the show. We've got back on the channel once again. It's been a while since we've seen him. Welcome to the legend, Carmine Appice.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
How you been, Carmine?
I'm trying to get this thing big. Hold on. What do I got to do here? There's a big one. Reactions. No, that's not it. Full screen. Share screen. No, that's not it. View.
Try gallery
Full
view.
screen. There you go. Hey, there we go.
Cool.
That's better.
So Carmine, a couple of reasons why we have Carmine on the show tonight. For one, Vanilla Fudge, Carmine's main band, has a new album to plug, but also Vanilla Fudge is playing Sea of Tranquility Fall Fest at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, New York next week, October 1st. So we're looking forward to having you at our little day-long festival alongside your good friend Pat Travers and his band.
I see you wearing his t-shirt.
Yes, I am. I just talked to Pat like an hour and a half ago. So he
Oh,
told me to tell you to
yeah,
say
I love
hello.
Pat's a good dude. He's, I'm
He
surprised. I talked to his manager, who's our manager today, and I said I was doing this. I said, "Who are you doing it for?" I told him. He said, "Oh, I don't know if he knew that Pat was doing it. He didn't know I was doing it either." But I told him.
There you go. I told him, and he said, "Tell Carmine I said hello, and I'm looking forward to seeing him." And he said, "Carmine is like my other brother." He said,
"Yep, he is. I love Pat.
Yeah,
he's got a good band, and I hooked him up with the manager that has been, working with him and helping him pull back his career, which he's doing great. We did a gig, 5 gigs with him in June with Cactus. Cactus and Pat Travers. That's a great bill.
That's a great bill.
Yeah, and
awesome.
We kicked ass everywhere. We alternated billing. Sometimes he closed, sometimes we closed. But all in all, it was great. When we went on last, he came up and played with us. When he went on last, we went up and played with him.
Oh, that's great. And you guys were recorded together.
Yeah, we toured together and went to Europe together. We did a live DVD, and he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy. We had a lot of fun talking to him. I'm looking forward to seeing him and you guys play on the same bill. It's going to be great, along with Nectar, another standout band from the
Nectar. I don't think I know any of those guys in Nectar, but I always thought they were pretty cool.
Yeah, really good.
Back in the day, they're progressive and cool. And Pat, who else is on there?
We got Epic Tantrum and Sonus Umbra, which are 2 newer prog bands, but we got Andy.
I don't know that.
Andy Powell from Wishbone Ash will be on hand.
Oh, that's cool. He's the host or something, right? He's answering questions.
Yeah, he'll be doing a Q&A with me. Yeah, but that'll be cool.
I'm starting a new show for myself. It's called the Carmine Appice Diaries, right? And it's I got a whole intro where you see this book. It's flying through the air. It's red and it says Carmine Appice Diaries in gold, and it's flying through the clouds. And as it flies, it gathers up all these pictures from my history, And then when it gets to the end, it falls down and it opens up and you see all the pictures go by, and then it comes up and it says all these different stories, So I'm going to get the audience to pick the stories. And then I'll tell a story. We've got John Lennon eats lasagna. So that'll be like, what the hell could that be about? Or Prince, who's that in my bed? And it makes you wonder what it's about. So it entices your imagination, So when I'm going to go, okay, who wants to hear a story? You raise your hand like a class. What do you want to hear? I want to hear John Lennon. I want to hear the Jeff Beck, Rod Stewart story or whatever,
And Carmine, who has better stories than you?
I got it. I got all the story. That's why I'm doing it, because people keep telling me, man, you got the best stories. You should go do some storytelling thing. So.
Well, the last time we spoke, you told us a lot of stories the last time you were here on the show. And then you said to me, you asked me, you said, have you read my book yet? And I said, I haven't gotten it yet, but it's in my Amazon cart. After we got done talking, I placed the order and I read it. Yeah, you have a lot of great stories.
And I didn't got all of them in there.
I'm sure you didn't.
I mean, I'm going to have somebody be a plant and they're going to go, what's that mud shark story? I'm going to say, it's too X-rated to say now, but if you want it, you can read it in my book.
There you go. $24.95 on Amazon, right?
No, get it at my merch table.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Now, you guys going to have at the Fall Fest, you guys have a lot of merch that you're bringing to?
Yeah. We always had merch. We got this really great T-shirt that Greg did. Yeah, Greg, the promoter.
Yep.
Yeah, Greg did it, Manic Merch does it. And it's so colorful and beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of art. When we first did it, it just wouldn't stay on the shelves. It was gone like that. Now we make enough of them, but we got them on drum heads, we got them on shirts. And now we got a new one, which has the first album looking pretty flaky on a black shirt. And we got the t-shirts and we got the drum heads for that. And we've got a lot of stuff, we got
Cool.
CDs and all that, but yeah, the merch has been doing good. The last time we did a few gigs a couple of months ago, and everything was great. Cactus, we were doing big merch, for
Good.
Cactus anyway,
So it's
But,
interesting. You guys are playing at the fest on October 1st, and Vanilla Fudge's new album, Vanilla Zeppelin, hits the streets on the 30th. So literally like the day before. Will you guys have
Is that what they're calling it? Vanilla Zeppelin?
Vanilla? Isn't that what it's called? Vanilla Zeppelin?
We were calling, what's the out through the indoor was the Zeppelin one?
Yeah, it's Vanilla Fudge. Sorry, not Vanilla Zeppelin. Vanilla Fudge. No, Vanilla Fudge Zeppelin. Vanilla Zeppelin, right? Isn't that what the name?
Well, no, we called it the opposite of out through the indoor, into the outdoor. And it's really weird because we did that deal so long ago.
Yeah.
Before COVID, and we were going to do an album called Vanilla Supreme Fudge,
Right.
which we were going to do all Supremes. That's where the Stop in the Name of Love came from, but we never got to do it because of COVID, and Tim passed away. So, but we gave them that particular album. They released a bunch of singles, and everybody's telling me they're releasing this album October 1st. I didn't even know the date. You just told me the date.
Yeah.
Because we had a different manager that put it together, and the label, we got some money, a little bit of money from them to do that, and then we never heard from them again.
Yeah, apparently September 30th. It's 12 Zeppelin covers.
Yeah. Well, rearrangements. We don't call them covers. We rearrange.
Yeah, they're reimagined. Yeah, because none of your stuff ever comes across as covers. It's like you make these songs your own in a way.
Yeah,
So
we do.
how cool was it? Must have been fun.
Stop in the Name of Love.
Right.
When we were doing that, we did it, but it didn't come to life in our heads or in our bodies or our heart until we played it live. And when we played it live the first night and we ended it, we went, stop in the name of love. And the audience just went crazy. That's when we felt it. Before that, it was just a track with a lot of work, a lot of work. It was the last thing we got Tim on. And, it was done in 2021. We released it. It's the only band that I know of that had all 4 original members that released a new track. That's new, not from the old days,
Yeah.
Like this Zeppelin thing, we did it in 2005. It's already 17 years old.
Yeah.
But we did do it analog, and it sounds good. I produced it. But
it's weird they would hold on to this for so long.
What's that?
It's weird that they would hold on to these recordings
Well,
for so long.
what happened was we did the deal with a European company, right? European company. They gave us a bunch of money to do it with the budget. Whatever we don't spend, we say that's the way the deals go. So we did it, we finished it. They released it in Sweden, and then they went out of business. Right? So that was the end of that. So we just used to sell it at our gigs,
Yeah.
And then this manager came up with the deal. He said, look, they'll give you X amount of dollars for that Zeppelin. We said, fine. It was never really released. And then we did a video for it. We had some old video footage. We wanted it to be psychedelic. I forgot which song it was we did. And then for Stop in the Name of Love, we had this black and white footage that we recorded in 1968 with us running around doing stupid things like the Beatles, Hard Day's Night, just running around doing silly stuff. And we're kids. We're on a boat, on a rowboat, all laying down, eating vanilla fudge ice cream, and running around on one of those merry-go-rounds in the playground where it spins, and just doing stupid stuff. So we put that together in that video. Nobody's singing, we're not trying to sing the song. And, and basically we added psychedelic stuff to it, and it came out pretty good. So that was the video that's on YouTube for Stop in the Name of Love. But I found the black and white footage we had, and I transferred it from a film to digital. I get to do a lot of this stuff.
That's cool. That's cool. Must be pretty nice for you to be playing with you know, a good chunk of the original band still to this day, all these years later. I mean, that's a testament to you guys.
It is. It is. Most of the bands have one member. Like Fog
Or
had
not.
one
Yeah,
member.
exactly. Yeah.
You know, Foreigner, I don't even think Mick Jones travels with them anymore.
Nope. No.
So they're like a high paid tribute band. You know, even though I know a lot of guys in the band. You know, the singer is awesome.
Oh, he's
Kelly Hansen, he's a great singer.
Yep.
I had a project with him, with me and Bob Daisley and Jolyn Turner. No, Bob Daisley and Jeff Watson. And then eventually we got Jolyn Turner. That was Mother's Army was called.
I remember Mother's Army. Yeah.
And then I don't know why we picked a stupid name like that. You know? I really don't. You know, like when I worked with Tony Franklin, me and Jolyn Turner and the guitar player Carl that had a stroke. So we never did nothing with it, but that was a cool band. Rated X. I mean, that was a cool name, I thought. You know, that was a good album, man. It was really good on Frontiers, but they never did nothing with it. Those kind of labels, they give you a little bit of an advance, and they make enough money to make 10 grand each, and they do 40 of those, 50 of those a year, and they make
more.
Or maybe more.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 of those, and they make $1 million. You know, they make whatever. They make 10,000 probably. 100 of those is worth 100 grand profit. Plus, they get their money back.
Yeah.
So the money keeps going, and they keep making profits. So they sell 5 grand to Japan, 5 grand to Europe, 5 grand to South America, and we don't get any of that. You know. But I got a new King Cobra record coming out.
Really? Wow. Okay. Talk a little bit about that.
Cleopatra. It's me, Paul Shotino, who's done the last two, Johnny Rod on bass, and we got Rowan Robinson from Dio.
Wow.
And then we got Carlos Cavazo from
Quiet Riot. Wow.
And it's really a cool album because I describe it as, so now I have a studio in my house. I learned to get the Andy Johns drum sound in my house, you know. So it's kind of like King Cobra meets Led Zeppelin, you know. And Paul's singing great. All the guitar work is great. Mixing's great. Pat Regan's at the mixing. And that's, you know, and having my own studio, I get to do so much work easy. Like when we did the Stop in the Name of Love, the drum sound was messed up. There's too much leakage in it. So when we recorded it and put Tim on it in LA, we had Jorgen Carlson. Does that name ring a bell? He's a bass player from Government Mule.
Oh, yeah.
He had a studio in LA, and we were going to do Tim over there because there was no bass on it. So when we brought Tim in there ready to cut it, Jorgen said, "Man, there's leakage all over the drums, keyboard and guitar. It's all over the place. You have to recut the drums." And normally I'd have to recut the drums. I have to bring the drums to the studio, set them up, get a drum sound, blah, 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 blah. But now I have a studio in my house and they never move. The AC is on all the time. The humidifier is on. So they don't go out of tune. They all stay the same tuning. The mics are the same. So I can cut something tomorrow and next week go in and fix a drum fill if I want. Nothing changes. So it's so great. You walk in past the garage, go into the guest house.
You don't have to go anywhere. Yeah.
Turn on the computer, and I'm working. So I fixed the drums on that track. And, you know, I've done things for Cleopatra. I've done different sessions. I'm doing a thing with Paul Shortino, Phil Susan, you know that name, Phil Susan?
Oh, yeah.
Me, Phil Susan, Paul, and this guy, Michael Voss, who's a great producer, a great singer, great guitar player.
Play with Schenker quite a bit. Yeah.
He's with Schenker all the time. So he didn't have a budget. So I said, "I'd love you to play drums." So I said, "Okay, make your deal. I'll play drums on this, but you guarantee me I play on Michael's next album." He said, "Okay." So he talked to Michael. Michael said, "Great." So I'm going to do that from my studio. But we're putting together a really amazing album with that. You know, I'm almost doing too much stuff. You know, I'm going to flood the market. You know what I mean?
How did you get Rowan Robinson to come out of hiding, man? He's been like, I mean, we haven't
Well,
heard from him in so long.
Paul lives in Vegas,
I
and
know Rowan's
they were
been there for a
doing
while.
that rock vault together, and
Okay,
we asked him, and he did it. I don't know if he's going to go on the road, you know, but we're going to try and do some big festivals with that.
that's pretty
It's a
cool.
great lineup. It's almost like a super group lineup. An
It
80s
absolutely is a
super
super group. I was
group, you
amazed when
know?
you started naming everybody. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's really great. Carlos plays great on it. Rowan plays great on it. And I'm real happy with it. My drum parts are great. Paul's vocals are great. You know, we all co-wrote all the songs. I'm the executive producer because Paul did all the work, you know, all the gathering of the stuff and his Pro Tools. I said, Paul, look, normally we'd co-produce. I said, you be the producer, you know. And then he brought Pat in because Pat took real detailed mixes and helping. So he said, how about me and Pat produce it and you be the exec? I said, no problem, you know, because we worked so hard and so long on this thing. With the advance we got, we probably made 5 cents an hour, literally. That's why the two original guitarists didn't want to do it. They said, nobody's going to hear it. It's going to take forever to do it. It'll come out and nobody's going to hear it.
Yeah,
I said, but dude, you keep the legacy going, you know, make
sure.
new music. Whoever fans are out there that will buy it will get new music, you know. I know I love doing new music and creating music. That's what I do. I love doing it. You know, what are you gonna do? Sit around, retire? You know, I live in Florida now. What am I gonna do? Go to the beach? You know, drive my car to and go eat dinner every night. You know, I got a gym in the studio. I work out, play drums. You know, I got a lot of things going on because of the studio. I got another instrumental album from me and Fernando. You heard that one, the Fernando Perdomo
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
instrumental album.
awesome.
So we just did a new one. Pat's mixing it. And, you know, it's funny because I had a friend of mine, this group called Kodiak, I was managing and helping, but then they broke up. But the two kids in it, they did over the Stranger Things theme song, and they got hundreds of thousands of streams on it. I said, that's great for you guys. So anytime something like that happens, it sparks something in my head to like, what could I do like that? You know? So everybody's telling me about this Kate Bush song that was in Stranger Things, that's a big hit again. So I heard it. So I talked to Fernando. I said, what if we do an instrumental version of that to make it really kick ass? He said, yeah, that's a great idea. So I said, so think about it. So a couple of days later, I get a track on my email with him to a click of him playing that song with bass guitar keyboard. I said, yeah, man. So I put the drums to it, you know, and you know, the song goes bump, bum, 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 bum. That's the theme of the song. So I was playing that on that floor tom, like a Gene Krupa thing, you know. And then when the drums come in, it's like that big Led Zeppelin drum sound, you know. And he's playing all the parts that she sang on the guitar, and he's got keyboards playing parts.
Fernando is a real talent,
He's
man.
a monster. He's a monster. I'm glad I'm helping discover this guy, you know. And so we got this other album on Cleopatra. We got the King Cobra on Cleopatra. And next we're doing a Cactus and Friends record.
Cactus and Friends. Okay.
Cactus and Friends. Anyone that was interested or influenced, I should say, with Cactus. We're going to cut the old songs with the new Cactus guys. And then we're going to get, like I already talked about, a load of people. Ted Nugent and Derek St. Holmes and Warren Haynes and King's X guys and Greta Van Fleet guy. All these guys did some, what's his name? Dee Snider. You know, Dee Snider did what a group called Widowmaker. They did Evil, you know. And Joe Franco, his drummer in that, told me, Dee is a big Cactus fan. You got to call him. So I called him and said, yeah, man, I'm in. So it's going to be pretty amazing. It's take a little while to make, you know. So we're going to make that. And then next year, we also have the Beck, Bogut, and Appice live at the London Rainbow, mixed by me and Jeff's engineer in 2018. But they've been waiting to release it next year, which is BBA's 50th anniversary. And we also got the Live in Japan record back, which was never released worldwide.
No, not here. Yeah, I have an import of that from Japan. Yeah.
So we're going to put it all together as a package.
All one? Wow.
All one.
So that's
Like a
going to be
box
the
set.
ultimate
BBA.
BBA. Wow.
And, you know, I found some other tracks, different versions of the BBA live. There was 2 shows. The second show is the one I think that we mixed. I got a mix with Andy Johns did of the first show. I got 4 songs of the first show. So we're talking to see how everything fits together. If we need some bonus tracks, we got bonus tracks. Maybe take a couple of tracks off the album that never came out, you know?
Wow.
So it's going to be
Who's going to release that? What label is that going to come out?
Rhino.
Okay.
You
Nice.
know, so that's going to be, you know, and that, you know, it's great for me because you got Beck, Logan, and Appice. You know, Jeff Beck's bigger now than he was.
Yeah.
So you get Beck and Appice, you know, it makes me look bigger, you know, if it comes out. Who knows? Jeff Beck, it may not even come out, you know.
How does that tour stack up when you think back on it? You've done a lot of big, immense tours.
Yeah.
How does the BBA tour stack up?
Well, it was still, you know, it wasn't big, immense tours yet, you know. Even when you were big, we were selling out 7,000, 8,000 seaters.
Yeah, true.
We didn't have the lights. We didn't even have monitors, you know. We got with Cactus, we bought our own PA system, you know. When we went to Japan with BBA, we sold out the Budokan, you know, 9,000 people. They didn't have any lights. You know what they use for lights? You know, when there's an air raid coming into the city, those big lights that shoot up in the sky, they had 6 of those, and 3 on each side of the stage. Those were the lights.
Wow.
You know, so it really didn't start until 70s, mid 70s. I mean, we would play sold out places. We played festivals. You know, festival had some park cans. That's about it. You know, maybe if you're lucky, you had smoke. I remember with the BBA thing at the Budokan, I did a disappearing solo. And so smoke, you know, all over the drums. So you couldn't see me when the drums cleared. They're playing, and I appeared somewhere else on the stage. You know, but it was. You know, I did it later, 1999 or 8, the group called Pearl with me and Tony Franklin. Now they had the very lights and they had all the production. The smoke came out, you know, and Tony go, Carmine Appice on the drums, and all the lights go, right? The very lights to the drum set. And it clears and I'm not there. The drums are playing. They go, Carmine Appice on the drums.
Where is he?
I'm going to reappear right over there. You know, like I walked out, the people watching the show, like tap a Japanese guy. I said, what's going on? You know, he freaked out. Then the lights hit me with the very lights. All the lights were on, the very lights. You know, I mean, that production, you know, but back in the old days, you know, we didn't have any production. We had whatever, if we played at theater, Capitol Theater, whatever lights they had, that was it.
You just went on stage and played and whatever.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah. Times have changed, Carmine. Big time.
Oh, unbelievable. And even with Rod Stewart, we had a big show, we had the big stage and everything. But, you know, tickets, we did 6 nights at the Forum, 5 nights at the Garden. Ticket price with a high price was $60.
Yeah.
You know, so you didn't make a lot of money. We had percentage of the ride. You know, we made good money, but not like now. You know, now you go, you know, Ringo sells out 8,000 seats at the Hard Rock. You know, his gross is like $2 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we grossed on the whole tour with Rod.
Yep.
You know, it's just unbelievable now. So,
yeah, that's crazy.
but for me, you know, I haven't played that arena show in so many years. You know, that I've been more into the theaters. You know, 1,000, 1,500, 300, 500. You know, which is fun. You know, I mean, I'm still having a great time playing.
Yeah, I mean, even me as a fan going to shows, I don't really enjoy the big, you know, stadium shows anymore. I like the little intimate, you know, 1,500 or less.
Because you're young. I mean, you're old. The young.
Because I'm old, right? Exactly. That's like I want to be comfortable.
The old people like that. The young people like stadiums. Like right. I hooked up with Mick Mars, my daughter and her husband, a couple other people to go see that stadium show. You know, they loved it. You know, all around them were kids their age, 30 years old, 25 years old, 40 years old, even 50 years old. You know, I don't know how old you are, but
I'm almost 57, so I'm
well, you're right on the edge.
Yeah, I'm right at the edge.
I myself, if I can't go backstage, I don't go, especially like over here, even though my new look, the mustache gives it away in my face, I still get recognized. And me and Nico from Iron Maiden, we hang out together down here. We went to see Jason Bonham and Joe Bonamassa, and all these different people. And Rod Stewart, everybody, But Rod wouldn't give Nico a backstage pass. He gave me and my wife, but he wouldn't give Nico one. I don't know why. And he could sell out more than Rod does.
Absolutely, yeah.
But anyway, it's a lot of fun. I love living in Florida, and I love having the studio, and it enables me to do all this work. Otherwise, every time I need to do something with Fernando, I have to go into a studio.
Yeah.
I have to set up my roadie, set up, get a sound. Maybe 2 days I could stay there, and it costs money, But him having his studio, me having ours, we can record all the time.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah.
I mean, we did this whole album without a budget. We didn't even know if Cleopatra was going to pick up the option, but they did. And I like Cleopatra. I know the owner since he started it, and I'm doing a lot of my stuff on there. It's like like the old days. You had one label you were signed to, and you did like Atlantic for Vanilla Fudge, Atlantic for Cactus. That's what it's like with me for Cleopatra.
That's good. Well, you're comfortable there, and
Yeah,
they're getting your product out there. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
So what can fans expect in the Vanilla Fudge set list in a week and a half in Poughkeepsie?
Vanilla Fudge, hanging on, taking it for a little while, stopping the name of love. We might do Pray for Peace, Mark's song that he released. Give me some love, maybe give me some love and good living. Shotgun, hanging on. We do a combination off that Zeppelin album, which is Dazed and Confused, but we changed the groove a bit than what we did there. The regular groove is boom, boom, doom, 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 down, 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 down. So we changed it to doom, doom, boom, boom, down. So we rearranged our own rearrangement.
As you always do, yeah.
And then we, at the end of it, when it goes into the part where it goes, then we go into Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You instead.
Oh, nice. Wow. Okay.
Right? And that's really good. Mark sings the shit out of it. It's so good.
Great
He's
voice.
still 75 years old. He still has his voice.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the body's falling apart on all of us. But I can still play, and he can still sing and play organ, And then we eventually go into that. But when we finish those two songs together, the audience goes nuts. So we'll be doing that. And, we have sometimes we'll throw Eleanor Rigby in there. Sometimes we won't. We do People Get Ready.
Yep.
As my voice is kind of crap these days. I got reflux, and here I'm all like, I sound like a mafia guy now, I got the look, got the voice, but, I have to sing it differently than I used to sing it because I can't hit those high notes that I used to hit.
Sure.
But we still do that, and it still gets a great reaction. The band, look, with me, Vinny, and Mark, we're tight. The vocals are great, and Pete replaced Tim. Tim was his total idol, so he plays like Tim, and he does all the high harmony like Tim used to do too.
Perfect.
So having Pete there is actually a blessing, and he's been with us 10 years already.
Time flies, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
That's
So we
great.
got a couple of roadies that we use. Some people like Pat, he travels with no road crew. I couldn't do that. No, I can't do that. He's got two young guys, and they do the road crew, and they drive, and they do everything. We got a roadie that drives, and another one that helps with the stage, and that roadie that drives and sets up the stage. He does the merch. Does a great job with the merch. Since we got him, we're selling more merch with Cactus, with Vanilla Fudge, everything. Even when I go out with my brother, I had him do it. He sold more merch.
You need a salesperson sitting at that table, right?
He's good. He's going, come on, do this. We'll give you a free DVD. You buy this, we'll give you a free shirt. Or you buy this, a free pair of drumsticks. It's like he sells bundles. That's cool.
Hopefully we'll have a bunch of people who are interested in buying merch at the festival. I would think so.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested. I never really heard Nectar live. I heard some stuff back in the 80s.
Yeah, they're really good.
I never heard them live, you know.
You'll dig them. I mean,
do they
it's,
sing? Do they sing?
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, they do. Okay.
It's very kind of like early 70s psychedelic prog rock, lots of Hammond organ and Moog
all
and
the stuff, all that stuff we started.
yeah, and they have a really good light show. So you guys, it'll be a perfect match.
They carry it with them?
Yeah, they've got the same guy doing lights that they have for
Wow.
their entire history.
I don't think they made that kind of money, especially at that gig. But good for them.
It'll be cool. It'll be fun. And before I go, I do want to mention something that Pat Travers and I were just talking about just a little bit ago. We were talking about kind of the legacy of Vanilla Fudge and how, you know, you guys have been around for so long and really were so influential to a lot of bands who also became big kind of in your wake, like, you know, Deep Purple, yes, have gone on record saying how much the Vanilla Fudge influenced them. That's got to feel good for you guys, right?
Yeah, it feels good. But why we're not in the Rock Hall of Fame, I don't know.
Well, that's something that's got to be.
We're in the Long Island Music Hall of Fame. In fact, they called me last week. They said, we want to put up an exhibit of Vanilla Fudge. What do you have? So I turned them on to Randy Pratt, who has bought Tim's bass. He bought Mark's organ. He's got clothes that Vinny wore. Oh, you know what? He's got my Indian belt I always wore. I'll tell him about that. And we're going to give him that. And he has part of my original drum set, the big blonde Ludwig drum sets, that same kit that I got John Bonham, all that. And I got one bass drum from it. I'm using it in my studio. And my student was a student, Bob Rondinelli was one of my students. He's got the other one. So we're going to give them the floor tom-toms, snare drums, and all. And these things are still worth a lot of money. The snare drum is probably worth 10 grand, you know? And I have the jacket that I wore on the Ed Sullivan show, the red velvet jacket. So I'm going to give them that as a loan, and they're going to set up a whole exhibit. They now have a building, and they're setting up the Vanilla Fudge exhibit and the Music Hall of Fame in Long Island. That's great.
That's
right.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, this Rock Hall of Fame, they changed the name to the Music Hall of Fame.
That's what it should.
You bring in country rap guys. Come on, that's not rock. You know,
100% agree with you, Carmine.
And it's ridiculous, you know. And you don't bring in a band like Vanilla Fudge that influenced everybody. You know, I mean, even if I wasn't in it, I would say, why aren't they in it? Just like, is Deep Purple in it yet?
They are finally. Yeah, they got it in a couple of years.
Right. So they're in it, and the band that influenced them is not in it.
Right.
It's just like, you know, you get rockers in it, and guys like Little Richard who influence people, they're in it. You know, like it took out. Is Alice Cooper in it?
Yes.
Yeah, he finally got in it.
Yeah.
But Kiss was in it before Alice Cooper. You know, Alice Cooper started that stuff. The big stage show. He's the first guy that did it.
Yeah.
You know, I used to. They opened up for us once at the Whiskey, long time ago, 1967. All Alice Cooper had for a stage show was a door frame with a door that he walked through with a rubber chicken, wearing a woman's outfit. You know, I was at the Whiskey a Go-Go.
Way back when, yeah.
Way back. You know, we became friends with Alice. And, you know, but I don't let it bother me. I really don't care. For me, I'm in the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame. I'm in this Hall of Fame, the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. You know, I won the first Modern Drummer, Best Drummer Award, Sabian Cymbals Award. You know, I'm good. You know,
and you know in your heart that the fans,
the other guy, the other guys, you know, like Vinny won. There was an award that was the Vanilla Fudge won, and Vinny picked it up. And Marsh went, well, how come Vinny got it? I said, I'll let him have it. You know, you know, I can't even keep anything in my house. My wife told me, she said, we're not building a Carmine shrine in the house. The shrine is in the studio. I said, okay, but we have a place in New York too. I do have a 5 platinum record, Rod Stewart, and a Vanilla Fudge, and the BBA gold record in the city there. So
yeah,
I got no more room. I got no more room. Anyway.
Hey, I hear you. I'm running out of room here too. So I totally get you. You got cooler stuff to be anyway.
Oh, you're in the only room?
Yeah, this is where I get to keep all my stuff. That's it.
Are you married?
My wife doesn't want anywhere else. No. So yeah, so this
That's
is
funny,
you know,
dude.
It's,
That's
you know,
funny.
yeah, no different, no different.
Oh, you want to hear a funny story today? I have a piece of property I own down here. So the sprinkler guy was working on it, right? So I go down there. So my manager said, I didn't tell him who you are. I said, good. So I walk in. Guy's name is Tony from New York. Right. So I walk in. I go, hey, Tony, how you doing? He goes, are you Carmine? You from Carmine? Are you from Brooklyn? I said, yeah. He says, your name Carmine? I go, yeah. He goes, Carmine Appice? He goes, yeah. He goes, you dated my sister when you went to Montauk. I said, what? And then we got to talking. He lived one block, they lived one block away from me. Your sister's my age, he's younger. And we're talking about the candy store we used to go to, the grocery store, the church we went to, where we bought pastries, pizza plate. I mean, it was
Small
unbelievable.
world, right?
Unbelievable. I said to him, this isn't just a 1 in a million. This is like 1 in the millions.
Yeah.
How many millions of people live in Florida? You know, and how many sprinkler guys are there? And you were the one that, you know, we hired to do this. It was freaking funny as hell.
It's crazy. It really is
Yeah.
such a small world. You know, it's funny, when I was reading your autobiography, you know, obviously we kind of grew up in a lot of the same area. You know, I grew up in Brooklyn, in Prospect Park.
Oh, you did? Oh, Prospect
Yeah, and then
Park,
we
yeah.
moved upstate in the early 70s. But my grandparents lived down in Manhattan on Grand Street in Essex. So right around the corner from Little Italy and Chinatown. And you talk about a lot of places that I remember as a kid. And it's just like, man, it really is such a small world. And, you know, people who don't really know each other experience a lot of the same things.
Oh,
We lived
unbelievable.
in the same neighborhoods, and it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
said, did you ever go to Sunset Park? That's where the pool was. He goes, oh, yeah. He said, what about the train? I took the D train to Coney Island. I said, me too. Yeah, I said, what high school did you go to? He goes, did you go to New York? He said, no, I would have went to New York, but they built a new one. The only 3 people that are famous so far that I know of that came out of New York was me, Buddy Hackett, and David Geffen. How about that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that when I met David Geffen, you know, back in the day. You know, I didn't know that he was from the high school. Pretty
Crazy.
funny. Think about it. You know?
Yeah, it's nuts. There's something to be said about growing up in New York. I mean, it's unlike any other place. I mean, I know you're happy where you are now, but
you learn to survive.
What's that?
You learn to survive.
Oh, you totally do. Yeah, you totally do.
You know, you like, if I grew up California, I wouldn't be the person I am now.
No.
You know, you always had it. I mean, come on, we had 6 people lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, you know. My brother Vinny he was in the crib in the living room, you know. And when we finally moved to a house, I had him and my sisters, they shared a room. Well, you read it. They shared a room. And my parents had their bedroom. Me and my older brother shared a room. I used to have drum, you know, in the living room, had rehearsals. Vinny would sit there, you know, with his bottle, you know. And that's what influenced him to, and when I saw me on TV, whoa, you know, my brother's on TV.
Yeah. How is Vinny doing these days? Last we talked,
He's doing good.
He was
Last in
helping
line
you out with some
doing good.
IT problems and stuff with your computer. You know, say
Yeah,
Vinny's the
last in-
go-to guy.
Last in line is good. But I tell you the truth, I never realized how good a bass player Phil Susan is
Oh,
until
yeah.
I did this record with him. Because usually, I even said this to him. I said, you know, you play with last in line, or you play with the guitar, those heavy metal riffs, you know. But like today, he sent me a song today. He's playing the guitar. I said, dude, don't play with the guitar. You know, play more, get funky. You know, be you. You know, don't play with the guitar. You don't need to follow the guitar riff. You're not last in line. You know, this is like a new thing. It's called Voss, Appice, Shortino, and Susan, Voss, or some shit. You know, so he said, okay, I'll do that. So he comes back today with the track, another track. Man, it was awesome.
There you go.
I said, they had a couple of little things here and there. And he thanked me for sticking my nose in, you know. He said, well, Michael said, dude, you know, he's the producer and he started. And I said, he started me the same way. He said, play this track. And then he calls me and said, can you play it more like the drum machine that's on there? I said, look, if you want the drum machine, keep the drum machine. You want me to play, let me do what I do.
Right.
He said, well, you do what you do. So I said to Phil, you do what you do, you know?
Yeah, who's
Don't
gonna
play
tell
the
who's
way,
gonna tell Carmine Appice to play like a drum machine? Come on.
yeah, exactly, you know? I mean, Rod was the closest guy that got me to play less,
Right.
but I loved his voice and everything so much. I did play less, but even so, I played quite a bit, like Hot Legs. You know, there's a lot of drums on Hot Legs, and when we play live, he'd go like this to me, point to his teeth. I said, "What is that?" He goes, and he used to call me the dentist. I go, "Why am I the dentist? There are too many fill-ins." So whenever I'd be playing, I get carried away. You go like this. You know?
Yeah, stop that, all right?
But he was great. I loved working with him. He was the best front man and singer of the day when I worked with him. You know, I saw his show recently. The show was awesome. You know, it's not the Rod like that I knew. You
Right.
know, because he's 78 years old. He's got a problem with his voice, just like I do. You know, but the production and the stage show was amazing. You know, and he's playing all the hits, playing all those hits, and people just loved it.
My
Yeah.
mother loves Rod Stewart now.
Yeah.
She never listened to him when he was younger, but now because my mother just turned 80, so she loves.
She's 5 years older than me.
Yeah, she loves all the stuff he does now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
I'm putting that on. I'm doing my Rod Experience show again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just putting it together, you know, because, you know, I mean, even though I love playing with Vanilla Fudge, we don't do a lot of gigs. You know,
Right.
we don't go out and do tours. But, you know, I want to keep playing as long as I can. And we have a lot of hits. I wrote a lot of them. I've been had a lot to do with them.
Yeah, why
You
shouldn't
know,
you? Yeah.
I mean, I had to do with 6, 7, 8 of the songs of the 12 songs he played. You know, and I sat there and said, man, look at all these people getting off on these songs that I had to do with. And I'm sitting here watching. I never get to play them.
Yeah.
You know, so I did this years ago, and I went to China with it. I went to a few places in America, and we did well with it. I don't know what happened. I know what happened. It just got too hard to have. I had guys that played with Rod in the band. I had Phil Chen in the band. I had Paul Warren, that was with Rod 14 years. And Danny Johnson, who was in a couple of years.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you go, hey, we got to rehearse. I had to fly everybody in from all over the place.
Yeah.
Too much, you know. So now I got guys from here. If I said, let's rehearse, we drive a half hour, we rehearse, you know, and the singer lives here too. He looks like Rod, sounds like Rod. And we got a good show, you know.
You got a little nucleus of talent right there in your
Yeah,
home.
exactly. And that's the way to keep it going, you know. And, you know, Cactus, same thing. We're going to do some Cactus, do some Vinny, but I can't work a lot with Vinny because he's out with Less Than 9 a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So it's up to me to keep myself working. So.
Well, and that's what you're doing. So
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
good. Well, Carmine, as always, it's a pleasure catching up with you. You got the best stories in the world, man. I tell you, I love talking to you.
Yeah, thank you. I want to see how you edit this.
Yeah.
You
I
edit
look forward to
these?
seeing you next week. You know,
Do you edit these things?
very little actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, very little.
I like my light. That's my light. See that thing?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the middle light. Gives me the light.
It's almost like a little halo over your head. So
Yeah.
there you go.
I'm an angel.
There you go.
Cool, bro.
So everybody stay tuned for Vanilla Fudge next week at SoT Fall Fest. And we're looking forward to seeing Vanilla Fudge and Pat Travers and Nectar, Sonus Umbra, and Epic Tantrum, as well as Chris Caffrey from Sabotage and Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and Andy Powell from Wishbone Ash. So I want to thank Carmine once again for coming on the show and
No problem, man.
talking about all the great stuff that's going on in his life. A lot of musical happenings coming up, so stay tuned. Man, that King Cobra album sounds great, so can't wait to hear that. And
it's called We Are Warriors.
We Are Warriors. There you go. Great title. Great title.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you all at Sea Tranquility Fall Fest next week, along with Carmine Appice. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye. So just curiosity.